So you want to stand on stages, but in order to do that, they often ask you, what's your speaking experience? But you need the experience from the stages, and now there's an interesting loop on how do you create momentum for you right now to spread your message so you can actually impact and inspire people in this moment. Because yes, you are good enough and you're totally ready, you're totally worth it, and there's people out there who want your help. So how do you start? Well, the one thing that you can do on a large scale right now is apply for every single opportunity that's out there, and they're asking for speakers. That's what I did when I started as well. What I did is I wanted to start on podcasts because I knew for me, in order to shine on stage, I first have to figure out what my story is. Now, there's a lot of preparation I can do, but the preparation and then practicing for myself or for a friend is very different than with an audience or with someone else or with other energy. So I just wanted to test a lot of things out in the real world so I could already have impact but still practice and finalize, or like get my craft in, really get it into my body and feel more comfortable. So I went to sources that are, by the way, in the description. There's a lot of sources where you can find speaking engagements. And I went to a Matchmaker, which is a podcast platform that works a little bit like Tinder, where you can create a profile as a host and you can create a profile as a speaker. And then as a speaker, you just apply to different podcasts, and then when they feel that you are fit, they will reach out to you and you can book your meeting. Now, two fun facts. One is what we as speakers sometimes forget, because we're looking for gigs and we want to stand on stage and we want to share our message because we think it's so valuable for other people. But on the other side, there's actually hosts who are looking for speakers. So it's just about finding the right match, right? So by you applying, you help hosts to find you easier. How awesome is that? The second fun fact is that when I started to pursue this, I got to my first 10 podcasts, which you can do easily as well. And one of the people I had an interview with actually became one of my first clients. You're going to learn more about monetization later on, but just know that it can come from everywhere. And when you think a little outside the box, when you allow magic to happen to you, it will happen, okay? So applying to stages is a really great way to start. And important with that is I already told you that I'm a TEDx speakers coach. So basically people were applying for that TEDx and I was going through all the applications. Now, let's go through the mindset of applying, okay? Because what a lot of speakers do, they get their questions like, who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why are you a great speaker? Why should we pick you? What is your talk about? Like something like this. Probably everybody's going to ask you something like this. And then what a lot of people do is they fill that in. Now think about this. In the real world, people are applying and Lori is going to read it. And maybe there's 10, maybe there's 20, maybe there's 100, 200, 300, 1,000 people who are applying. How am I going to go through all those letters and then pick the right one? You know, as a transformational speaker, that one thing strikes out, sticks out, inspires, ignites. And that is emotion. So instead of asking yourself just the question, where can I apply? What I would love to add is, how can I stand out when I apply? So for example, could you find out who is actually the person who is going through the applications? Could you potentially find that person, in my case it was me, on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Facebook, and follow that person and see what they are about, and then find a connection that you have a similarity in and create a true, authentic, like heart-centered, not, hey Lori, I want a TEDx, can you help me? No, like that's not the energy that we want on stage. But if you're like, hey, I see that the theme of the next event is around this, and I'm so passionate about that too. I love that you're creating visibility around it. I would honestly love to have a 5-minute conversation to see if there's something I can contribute. If I can be a speaker, it would be great. If there's another way I can just help you out to make impact with your event, I would love to brainstorm. Do you have 5 minutes this week? Or better said, what would be the time that works best for you to allocate like 10 minutes of our time? I'm flexible. And now you come from a place of service. You're standing out as a human being, and we create an emotional connection human to human. Do you think that a person who reaches out with that heart-centered way and applies has a higher chance of being chosen? Not because they're better, because they're probably all awesome, but there has to be a decision that has to be made. And how are you going to make the decision? Everybody makes decisions based on emotions. Yes, there's a logical part of our mind, but in the end, most of the decisions are based on an emotional foundation. So how can you establish that emotional and human connection based on a place of service, from a place of service, of true contribution? Now, you might think, yeah, but so many people are doing that. I can tell you that's not true. I get so many DMs. And most of them, in the first message is, hey, I see you're doing this, I do this, I'm so amazing, I want to help you, do you want to pay me? That's not heart-centered, that's not true human connection, and that's not like from a place of service. From a place of service would come along the lines of, hey, I see you're doing this, it's so amazing, I think we have similar values, I would love to contribute, this is some ideas that I had, I would love to have a conversation with you, I know you're busy, so what really works for you? And if you know that you're living close by, you can even say, I will come by your office or whatsoever, but you come from a place of creativity and authenticity. Have you ever recorded a video and send just a video of you expressing your gratitude and appreciations about someone and then sharing your ideas instead of just applying, right? On this level, we know that we're going to expand the level of gigs, expand the level of impact by just applying to every opportunity you come around. But you're going to look through the lens of how can I stand out while I go through the steps that they're asking me to do. Are you ready to go through that? Again, we've got a lot of links for you so you can click on them, you can apply, go create that momentum and know that there's more magic and more and other ways to get on stages. So you can have the impact, inspire, motivate, transform the people that are going to listen to you. And also when you do it strategically, which we're going to talk about later on, even more, earn some money with it.